Certainly moving into autumn now. It's getting colder, a bit wetter. Summer seems like a bit of a memory at the moment. Swimming in the lakes doesn't seem like a good possibility at the moment. So anyway, what I wanted to speak about. Yeah, what was your experience to making mistakes when you were growing up? Like, did you live in a home where mistakes were part of being human and they were accepted? Like, you didn't get punished for them, you didn't get into trouble for them, you didn't get warned that something really bad would happen if you made mistakes. Because for those of us who did grow up in that kind of an environment, it creates a lot of pressure around being perfect, always trying to make the right decisions, never doing anything wrong, and the fear of what might happen if something does go wrong. And I've had to work with this quite a lot in my own life. And one of the things that I've seen is how we do it to ourselves. Like, now we're adults and we're living, no one is kind of punishing us anymore for making mistakes, and yet something inside us still plays that out. And many people call that the inner critic, or the part of us really that goes against us in those times where we're most vulnerable. And yet I've started to see it very differently, and I've started to see that part of us which sort of took on so much hate and so much violence and aggression and abuse, that part of us actually never had anybody to be with it. And what that part of us needs is not to be told, oh, you're a terrible inner critic, I need to get rid of you, I need to just find a way of dealing with you. Actually, the inner critic also needs love. The inner critic also needs understanding. The inner critic also needs something alongside it that says, wow, I hear you. I really, and I see how much of the darkness that you took on in order to protect me and the rest of our system from what was very difficult at one point in our lives. So there can be a kind of meeting of that part of ourselves with a lot of gratitude and a lot of openness and a lot of just, wow, I'm just seeing that part of myself with different eyes, with different lenses. And also, we also need to come alongside the inner child, the part of ourself that is fucking terrified of the making of mistakes, of the getting things wrong, of the messing up. And reassure the inner child that it's okay, that I'm with you, and that we're not in those circumstances that we once were, and that we're safe now. It's like, can we be with both the inner child and the inner critic in a loving, compassionate way? Can we bring both of those into the space and not make either one of them wrong? And what I see is that as these different parts in my system begin to feel seen, held, understood, loved, accepted, then the system can calm down. The system can go, okay, if I make a mistake, the inner child isn't going to be made wrong for it. And the inner critic is not going to be able to run amok with it. Both of those parts are going to be met with a kind of sanity and with truth and with love. And of course, as all of these parts inside us become more kind of, let's use the word, neutralized, then what happens is that the light of consciousness itself, which is unaffected by any of these parts, just becomes much more of our natural self-abiding space, where we can just be ourselves in that way. So that our humanness, we no longer get lost in full identity with our humanness, but our humanness is allowed, it's accepted, it's welcomed, but there's a recognition of something which is beyond our humanness, something which is aware of our humanness, which is always functioning. And yet, if we've got a lot of parts in our human self which are coming up and taking over and we get fully identified with, then we lose track of what is always here, which is the pure witnessing consciousness. And there's nothing you have to do to become that. That is already functioning. But experientially, we lose that when we become fully identified with a part of ourself that gets triggered. So here the middle way is to allow our humanness, to accept our humanness, to embrace our humanness, but not to become fully identified with it. Because when we do that, we lose track of what we truly are, the pure, ever-present witnessing consciousness.